nice warm tea, we can feel stress-free. Soft voices and a lot of laughs, it's the Mundane Podcast.
Hey everybody! Hey Dave!
Hello!
I'm going to start this differently because this is part 2 of an episode of the Mundane Podcast with the Chris and Dave. As you may have already heard, there is the Dave.
Here I am.
And I am the Chris. And we're looking today at selectors, at channel changes, at remote controls, at the buttons, at the clickers, I'm not going to list them all, listen to our last episode. But basically, last week... Oh, you brought them! I was so...
They were in here anyway. I didn't even think to bring them. I've got plenty more inside where they came from, but these will do.
Those on video, Dave just brought up 2 glorious remotes. This is brilliant. So yeah, last week we talked about, basically, accidentally, I brought loads of resources about the history and things about remote controls, thinking about normally remotes for TVs, but for other things as well. And we ended up basically just going into a study about what people all the way across Britain call the remote control. So I have other articles and other things I wanted to talk about. So we're doing our first part 2. So this is our first part 2.
Part 2.
Okay, so I've got some questions, Dave, that I wrote for you that I wanted to ask you last week. So I'm going to start with them first.
Okay, fire away.
And then we'll go into the history if we have time. So Dave, what makes a good remote control?
Well, that's a good question. There's a subjectivity to this question, because I think for some people, how it feels in your hand might be quite important. I think that has some importance. It should feel satisfying to use. Ergonomic and satisfying. But it's not the be-all and end-all, because let's face it, the remote's job is to just be a remote controller for whatever it is you're controlling.
That's true.
And so I think primarily a good remote has the right amount of buttons. Because you can have too many, like when you got TV remotes and it's got all the numbers on, it's like, do I really use the numbers that much? I do sometimes.
Oh, do you? What do you use the numbers for?
If I happen to know the channel and I don't want to scroll through, although I haven't done for a while because usually I use the voice for that. So yeah, I don't think we need all the numbers. And then I've got a remote that's got Disney, Prime, Netflix buttons. I don't need those. I'm just gonna.
I use those buttons all the time.
Oh, I don't, because that's on my TV remote, and I don't use the apps through the TV. I use them through the Skybox thing.
I see.
And but if I was using it through the TV, then yeah, maybe I would make use of those. But yeah, not too many buttons, but not too few, because I've come across some remotes, Apple TV, looking at you, where there's basically no buttons, and you're just you got a little scroll. What am I supposed to do with this? And I'm there on Google trying to figure it out. And I'm not exactly a Luddite or whatever, I'm not a technophobe. I know tech. It's in my background is kind of in tech. And there are remotes out there that I have not been able to use without a lot of frustration and Googling, because they basically have no buttons. So I'd err on the side of more buttons.
I always find on those moments where you struggle with technology, you instantly feel old.
Yes, yeah, and it's not a nice feeling.
Yeah, no. As a kid, I was like, yeah, I could do this, yeah, and it's the mouse, yeah. And then it's all the buttons. And this is one of my biggest issues. So you've hit a big thing here, because you said buttons. Yeah. Buttons is I would say the central thing, because there are a lot of remotes out there now, little universal remote things, where they're little screens, they're like little mini iPad thing, and they are terrible.
Oh, I don't want that.
I don't want that. I hate touchscreen interfaces. I'm gonna kind of hold back as much rage as I have for them, because one of my big issues, what I love about buttons, and on music amps and sound systems, they're the best, because you can turn things up and down. You've got the switches. I had an old graphic equalizer as an extra thing. I am old, but you could move the sliders up and down. Tactile. Yeah. And the thing that drives me mad about touch screens, especially on things like phones, it always drove me mad on iPhones, where you have to it's not like a button where you can work out, it's this button, or you hold these 2 buttons, or you press these 2, or you flick the switch. You have to know to tap in a certain spot, or you tap twice, or you have to press and hold to potentially activate something, or you wiggle your thumb. I hate that stuff, because
too many gestures.
There's nothing intuitive about it. There's nothing like if the whole world explodes and there's a perfect TV out there and it's got this little touchscreen remote that just happens to work somehow because, I don't know, it's been magically powered over time. That person who has never seen any of that before will have no idea what to do. Or a space alien. I suppose let's not go bleak with the end of the world. Let's just come a space alien comes down, comes and visits our house, and we're like, you know, in this scenario we live together, like in the like in one of our previous episodes, and it's like, okay, hey man, you go set up the remote. And in our amazing house that we live together, we obviously have a big TV, and we obviously have, you know, maybe we do get one of those remotes because we haven't listened to this episode of the podcast because it's been years. Anyway, and this alien comes and he's like, and it's like, he's going to have no idea what to do. Now, in an alternative scenario, that alien comes and it's just a nice, good remote with buttons. The aliens are, you know, they've conquered space travel. They knew to come to Chris and Dave to come and learn about human life, and they knew like enough to pick up a remote. And they're like, oh, okay, this button does this. Because I feel like even as a kid, I've watched kids use remotes. Like what my nephew, nothing was like cuter than watching him. He couldn't speak, but he knew how to turn the volume up and down on the TV. He knew how to pause and play whatever was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And that, but like, I feel like with a screen, it's just like not, you couldn't work that out because at least when you press it. So as well as buttons, I'd like to add responsiveness.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that is
because
key. Yeah.
Apple TV, as much as their remote is really weird, the one thing I liked about it when I've used it in people's houses is how quick it responds. You press down, it goes down on the screen. You press up, it goes up on the screen. And it feels like I am that's what it is, isn't it? I am interfacing with the device. As opposed to, like, I have an LG TV, it's a bit old now, and yes, it has those buttons. By the way, that we're not going to go to too much detail on this, but I just did I had a quick look before. So can you guess how much companies pay to have their logo on a button? The only statistic I've got, which is from a website called theconversation.com, and Mashable, which is all quoting another article, how much do you think a company pays per remote?
Per remote?
To be sponsored.
Wow.
So per remote, per button.
So it's not a flat fee?
It's not a flat fee. No, it's a specific per button.
I don't know. I mean, it can't be 5p.
That's a reasonable. It is $1.
Yeah.
$1 per remote. It is quite a lot when you think about it.
Remotes. Yeah,
you think about how the process of how much a remote costs to be made.
Did their money on my remote, didn't they? Because I'm not even using them. I mean, there's a Rakuten button. Who even uses Rakuten?
Oh, the Rakuten button. Okay, so the Rakuten button is the Rakuten button, the Rakono button, because that button I always accidentally press, and it's always, you never accidentally press the volume up button. You never or maybe you do and I don't notice. You never accidentally press this, but man, that Rakuten button, just out of the blue, the TV's just like, blah, and it just overtakes Rakuten. It's like, I don't know what this is and I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because I'm old, though. Maybe that is an old thing. And I'm like, I want my apps. I like my apps. I like my Netflix, and I like my, you know, my Prime, my Disney Plus. That's what I use.
I think that if the buttons were in themselves little individual screens, so you can customize which apps are on your buttons, then we're getting towards the perfect remote, maybe.
Do you know what? I have I had, I forgot what they're called, like a little streamer deck buttons where you could change what the buttons are. They're programmable.
Yeah.
And they have little screens.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was genuinely, in terms of interface, that's the best interface I've ever used. Yeah. Because it's got the technology. It even has, as much as I said I hated it before, it has a tiny little touch screen. Because, for example, you can have multiple pages of buttons, and then on the little touchscreen you can just drag,
scroll,
swipe, and it will swap. You know, so those buttons have multiple things on. I love that. So no, you know what? Maybe it is a touchscreen being used in the right way. Maybe it is about the way things are interfaced with.
It might be tricky for the alien that visits your house still. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what they use, but
if we knew the alien was coming,
with classic buttons, I think the alien would figure it out, and they'd have enough time to wonder why Corey Taylor's in your house then as well.
Exactly right. Or if we go to an alien's house and he's got a big remote with just a load of symbols on, You know, you
Yeah.
could probably work out. That's like
Yeah.
the joke in the films, isn't it? They're like pressing the button, and it's like, oh no, that one opens that door. Oh no, that does this. Like, but if it's on a touch screen, you're like, what do I?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you need to hit it with 2 fingers and then twist it sideways, then it'll work. And it's like, yeah, not my jam.
Yeah, gestures. Like, have you ever? This is a little segue, but have you ever tried to improve your compass accuracy on your mobile phone? I'm sure it's a prank. I'm sure it's a prank. Yeah, and you just stood there like,
I've done that.
Compass accuracy low.
I've done
still
it.
low. Doesn't ever make a difference.
It never makes a difference, and it always happens when like you're in the middle of nowhere and you just need to work out where you are, and it's like, wait, I'm walking up the street, but it's telling me I'm walking down. Then out of the blue, Google will just appear with a little symbol and be like, hey, can you just hold your phone up and look like an absolute psychopath and just start putting your phone in a figure of 8?
Because you can't choose the option to like calibrate your compass. It's only when Google chooses
It's
to make you
only when
look like an
Google
idiot.
chooses to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, but I had to bring that one up.
I'm so glad you brought that up because and I'm sure, please write comments, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. But like, that is a thing that I'm sure not just me and you went through separately because
it's infuriating. I've tried so hard. I really have. I want my high compass accuracy. I really do.
I want high compass accuracy as well.
But I'll never get it.
I've had it once when I was in the car. I had it once when I was in the car. I was driving and I was like, I'm not going to take it out of its cradle and then do a little move. I think what I had to do was I took it and I gave it to whoever was in the car with me. And I was like, quick, you, put this in a figure of 8. And they're like, what? And I'm like, look, the video will tell you. Which admittedly, it's a good little video. The video does tell, like, well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's bad because none of us can do it right.
Well, yeah, that's what
but it's such a distinctive thing you have to do.
Obvious. Yeah.
Is put you in a figure of 8.
Are we the only ones that can't do it then? The person in the back of your car
I don't know if the person in the car did do it, or maybe they just dismissed it, but like, yeah.
Maybe it was also the motion of the car. Were you driving in a figure of 8 as well?
No, that's true. Oh, yeah, no, I think I was stuck in traffic. I wasn't like driving on the motorway going, huh, and then taking my phone off the crane, like throwing it to them, like, quick catch! Like, yeah, no, that wasn't that. On the subject of good remotes, when we were talking about ergonomics, so there's a thing that I've noticed. I don't know if, about weight. When you were talking about weights of remotes, I noticed on like cheaper TVs, the remotes are really light. You know, like sometimes where you get like a cheap electronic device and it feels too light. And once again, the thing that I liked about an Apple remote is that it felt
quite weighty.
Heavy.
Feels like a pebble in your hand.
It feels like a pebble.
It's a long rectangular pebble.
It feels I know we're going aliens again, but like an alien device that can read the mind of the device I need to interface with. Like it feels like that one-to-one thing. It really blew my mind.
It's a nice remote, but I just couldn't use it for the life of me.
Yeah, well, there's not enough symbols or buttons. You need enough buttons. Yeah,
I think there's a scroll wheel and 2 buttons, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
And little to no information to tell me anything about what they do and how.
I've used the number that I got, by the way, of the £1. I think it's £1 or $1 per remote is from Roku, because Roku on that little Roku. If you've ever seen a Roku remote.
Yeah.
It's literally just like arrows, a home button, a back button, and then 2 buttons for whichever apps, and that's all of the Roku remote, which arguably is all you need.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know about you, I have a sound system, so I use a sound remote for the sound system.
Yep, same. Yeah.
And then so I don't need the sound buttons, I just need to be able to navigate quickly. The other thing about the Roku, and I think Apple does it as well, it's connected via, I think, like Bluetooth. It's not infrared.
So that's why it's more responsive.
That's why it's more responsive, exactly. The infrared, it has to it's like, for those that don't know, infrared is like a beam of light, and it will kind of detect what's going on to kind of react to it.
It's not responding, so you're taking the cover off, and you're like turning those batteries, and giving a little, come on, it's got to work.
Have you ever pointed it at your phone camera?
Pointed a remote at my phone.
Yeah. Because you can see the infrared.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the infrared. That's how you know if this battery's got remotes, because that maybe could be another thing on our perfect remote, Dave. Is one things I like about car keys is that it has a button to tell you it's activated.
Yeah.
So you press the button, it has that, and at least on mine, it has a little red flash, like, and it's like, hey, I'm sending a signal right now. Because like sometimes you just feel like you're crazy. And you're pressing the button and nothing's happening. And I'm like, wait, is the remote ran out of battery? I don't know about you on my TV. I, for ages, on the LG TV, was like, this is so slow. It's an old TV. God, I don't want to get a new TV. Oh, maybe I'll have to get a box or something to plug in the back. I don't really want to do that. I just want to use the TV. Oh, and it was moving really slow. Then I replaced the batteries and it was like lightning fast again. So actually what had been happening,
it does help,
was the thing. So my advice to you at home, everybody, is if your TV remote is not responding properly, just replace the batteries first. See if that works. And if you want to make sure that your TV remote is actually firing a signal, point it at your phone camera and you'll see a little flash, because you'll get to see whether the infrared is actually sending. We're a practical show now, Dave. Look at that.
This is good advice. Yeah, this is
This is like your garlic cutting on the previous side.
Yeah.
So the other thing I think about is how often, and I'm sure this is common, and I know a lot of people at home will have this, how often do you lose your remote control?
Not all that often, considering it's like a stereotypical lost item. But I think, I don't know, I'm quite organised. So there's one remote that I sometimes lose because Joy puts it somewhere where I just don't know where she's put it. And I'm like, Joy, where's the remote? Where's the remote?
And is it still somewhere sensible, isn't it? It's just
it's usually somewhere sensible.
It's not Joy's like, God, in the microwave. Like, she's probably put it somewhere that, like, is just a surface you didn't think.
Yeah, usually just out of reach of our son's reach.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to be creative with a child, because that child, if it sees something that it can grab, and buttons are like perfect for a child. They want to press everything.
He was playing with his toy remote earlier, funnily enough.
Does he?
Yeah, his one makes noises when you push the buttons, you see. That would help, you know, if it made a noise.
Would it though? Can you imagine if
annoying.
You're watching a film, for example, and like there's a moment where it's like there's a confession, like, I did it, I murdered him, and then they go to like turn up the volume on the remote, and it's like ba-dam, 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 and it gets louder and louder. I murdered, and it's like, oh, it's a bit quiet, ba-dam, 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 just coming out the middle. I don't feel like that would work as well.
No, probably not. No, I'd enjoy it because I'm silly like that. But yeah, probably not for most people when they're in that moment in the film. They don't want a remote to ruin it. No.
Imagine if you're in the middle of a cinema and like it's just a big moment and it's like slightly quiet and you just say, ba-dam, ba-dam. I don't know why I'm trying to think of what the most obnoxious quick sound would be, like a remote control would make, like. And I was also trying to. I guess I was also thinking: does the fake remote that your kid does it make animal sounds? Because that's in my head what all buttons.
So it's funnily enough, it's got quite a lot of these buttons on it.
Okay.
And so it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Okay.
0. But these ones, it goes
like, so it's got coloured buttons.
Yeah,
you mean?
and it goes. Da, 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 da,
oh, you have to go up the buttons.
Da, 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 basically. So you can play a little tune, and then most of the other buttons are kind of like or whatever.
Oh, little sounds.
Yeah, little sounds. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want in a cinema to like push the volume. It goes up, down, down. Well, I would, but I'm silly.
You're watching the end of Marley and Me. You're really sad, and then you just hear up, down, down. And so, what happened to Marley? We had to put him down. I was like, I have to turn it down. The music's too loud. Down. Well, I've got another. I think I've got one more question. Oh no, I've got two more questions.
2 more. Fire away.
Get into the history. I want to get a bit of history as well.
History. Yeah.
So, do you have any tips or strategies for not losing remotes? How do you not lose your remote? Because I lose my remote all the time. I have 2 remotes. I have a sound remote and a TV remote. And one of the reasons I don't want another box is because I don't want another remote to lose. And I have a potential strategy that we'll explain in a minute.
Yeah.
That's an idea. That's a concept. You may even know what it is already. But I have a couple of ideas, but like honestly, the sound remote I lost. It's just a little tiny remote with just volume up and down and like change the source. I literally lost that remote for about 2 months, and I would just have to turn the sound up and down. It became so normalized in our house where we would just turn the volume up and down on the thing that once I found it we had to readjust back to life with a sound remote. So, and because it's quite small, it was very easy to lose.
Yeah, my one is, it's quite narrow, quite small. I actually built something that you could use when I was in year 7 or year 8, product design class. We all had to build something out of, I think it's Perspex plastic. and you could melt the plastic with this, I forget what it was, like something you put it on, but basically I got my sheet of Perspex, rectangular sheet. I can't, if I go further back, something like probably about
30 centimetres?
30 centimetres long, something like that, by like, I don't know, 12 or whatever. It was yellow, and I was like, what am I going to make with this? What am I going to make with this? I've got to pass my product design class. Don't want Mr. Brown to be angry at me. And so I made a TV remote holder. And basically what I did is I got that rectangular sheet of Perspex and I put 3 bends in it, kept it in a straight line, and I just bent it into a W shape, like that.
Okay.
And you put the remote in each side of the W. It didn't sit flat because I hadn't bent it very well, but I basically, with minimal effort, managed to, like, other people were drilling things and chopping things, and I was like, I'm just going to bend it 3 ways into a W shape, TV remote holder. Took it home. Mum, I made you a TV remote holder. Oh, thanks, David. Just what I wanted. And I think it did briefly get used. I think she probably pretended to be more enthusiastic than that, you know, trying to encourage me and all that, but it was pretty rubbish.
Oh, okay.
But nonetheless, it was used for a bit, and maybe for that bit of time we didn't lose the TV remotes. So I made a solution, guys. Make a remote holder. Make that the designated place for your remotes.
As you were saying this, I genuinely thought you were going to go, and I still use it to this day.
I wish I knew where it was.
Years.
It's probably in landfill somewhere.
Oh, no.
I wish I don't know. I'll have to ask Mum and Dad. Mum, do you remember that TV remote holder I made that you loved? Oh, if I could, yeah, I don't know.
If we find a photo, we'll put it on. It's probably not there.
I'll try and find out. Yeah, it might take some time. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. What do you think is the most used button on the remote that you use?
Except the power button, because that's probably the most used.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
On
any remote?
On any remote, well, it depends on the remote, but for the Sky remote, probably home, because it just takes you back to the home where you can scroll back through the channels, or the microphone button where I can say what I want without having to press anything else. That's
I
quite
think
convenient.
mute. I use mute quite a lot. If you hear a sound, it's like, what's
mute
going on?
gets a good bit of good.
Because also, that's like a button, because obviously we live in the modern world now where everything is streaming and it's amazing. And at that point, you would have to mute TV because you can't pause it. Pausing is such like a... we are old men. This is just slowly me realising how old we are.
Live television.
Live TV.
Is it still live when you play it again?
Oh, do you remember when that first came out?
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it in in America they have this thing called TiVo. And you're like, oh, maybe one day we'll get a TiVo. But no, we didn't. We got, what was it? Do you remember?
I don't know. Is it
Sky Plus?
Sky Plus.
That's
is that
what it was called.
The OG.
Sky Plus was the original.
Now it's just standard.
Now it is being able to. I don't have live TV, and I've not watched live TV or done anything with live TV for at least 10 years.
Yeah, so get off Chris's case, TV licensing. All right.
Oh, they do get my case, but I just be like, I don't, thank you. And I'm like, they're like, we're going to investigate you, and I'm like, well, that's
they do that.
You can do that.
They came to my door once, and the best thing you can do to make them go away is come in. I'm like, oh, he's got nothing tied. Yeah. I mean, I genuinely didn't have anything tied, but I was like, you can come in and have a look if you want. I've just got a games console. But now, actually, I do watch some live TV, and I do pay for a TV licence.
Yeah, good for you. If I had the money and the need, I would, because I like that. But that's neither here nor there, David.
No, it's not.
Okay. So, yeah, the mute button I think is used a lot because I like that, and it's sometimes quite surreal because when you pause it, it's like you've frozen time, you've frozen the moment. But when you mute, it's like the moment's still going on, it's just you've adjusted your focus elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like the world in the TV is still going on. One of my favourite things to ever have on the TV, back when I had TV at university, and this will age me greatly, was when I was at university, and it was the London Olympics. And I remember watching the London Olympics just on mute most of the time, but it was like a perfect little TV. I think it was Charlie Brooker wrote in an article that it was like having a fish tank of people doing amazing things. And it was just the perfect thing to have on silent in the background, where you just look out of this little window and there's just people doing amazing achievements, changing the world of like sport and doing it. And I was like, I don't normally like sport, but man, what a good time. But that was a good moment of like having it on mute, because it was like this little portal. And then if you had the volume really quiet, it's just like they're just off in the distance. I'm looking out my window and they're like, oh yeah, and then he's going to throw a shot put, and he's done it so far. Well done.
And then you know if something big happens, if you got it really quiet, but then you hear a cheer, it's like, oh, something big's happened, because I don't normally hear the cheers at that volume. So you check in, like, oh, better see what that was.
You do. Your brain kicks in.
Yeah,
It's like being in the put. It was so good. Oh, man, I miss those days.
I've done the same with football. Like, must have been a goal. Better go and have a look.
So originally, the original question was, what is your strategies to not lose remotes? And at the minute, it's just about how you didn't lose remotes for like 5 minutes in your old family home. Is it just you have a designated place and you put it on the designated place? Is it as simple as that?
In my current family home, they generally sort of just reside on the sofa. So if they've ever disappeared for any length of time, then I'm looking down the cracks in the sofa. But they're quite tight, the cracks in the sofa. So like, you'd basically have to force it in there, which our son has done before. He actually played a little game a little while ago of pushing the TV remote into the crack between the cushion and sofa and going, oh no, and trying to pull it out. And it was a fun little game that we were playing together.
How old is he, Dave? 35.
Yeah, it was me.
Sorry, how old is he?
He'll be 2 soon.
He'll be 2 soon.
Yeah, in a couple of months. Yeah.
Every punchline, every joke punchline of like describing a child doing a child thing, and then they doing the age. The universal joke is like 35, 32. It's okay. So you have like the set place. You have the set place of the remote.
Yeah, pretty much.
Despite having this, I'd like to consider myself an organised person, but man, those remotes go walkabouts. I'm one of those people because I'm like pausing it sometimes. Sometimes if I pause it and I'm on my own, I want to go get a cup of tea. I'll pause it and I'll put it in my pocket, and then I go. And then sometimes, I'm in my dressing gown, so it goes in my dressing gown pocket. But then I get too hot, so I take off my dressing gown. Then I hang up my dressing gown. Then I go do that, and I go sit down. And I go, where's the remote? And the problem is sometimes if there is, for example, like on the PlayStation, when I play like a Blu-ray, it can interface with my TV remote. You can set it on your HDMI settings. Top tip again. So it means I can pause a Blu-ray just using the pause button on my TV remote. Great. But then what happens is if I lose that remote, I'm like, well, I've got the PlayStation remote. So then I remove any need or urgency to find the remote.
Oh, it's a problem.
And then a day or two passes, because I don't watch TV every night. A day or two will pass. And then I'm like, where's the remote? And it'll be on the dressing gown that I might wear, once in 2 weeks out somewhere. But there's many different scenarios. And my wife has ADHD, so she's losing things all the time anyway. So we're both a nightmare. So one of my solutions was putting little Velcro was putting little Velcro stickers on it and just sticking it to the couch, having a little spot that you can stick it on. That was my first thought.
Yeah. My
second one, and we were going to talk about it last week, but we didn't get round to it, was in Peep Show. They have the Megatron.
The Megatron, yeah.
Which is where he sticks all the remotes together to form a super remote that he calls the Megatron, which I did consider for a while. But in the show, they make a joke that only a depressed person would do something like this. And I was like, well, I'm not depressed. I just like the practicality of having a big remote. You don't lose. It's like having, like if you ever go to a service station, it's more common in America where there's a key to get to the bathroom. So they attach it to something big so you don't lose it. That to me is what it is. You make the remote so big it can't be lost.
You could tether it. So I went to university with someone, and in their room, they obviously liked doing a lot of smoking, and people obviously like coming into this room and doing a lot of smoking. And they had basically got string, because they kept losing their lighter. People kept walking away with their lighter. So they got string, and they tied it to a lighter, and then they just run the length of string, however long it wanted it to be, long enough to reach around the room, I guess, and tied it to like a leg of a chair or something. And I found it hilarious, but looking back on it, actually, that was probably...
Isn't that like a trip hazard?
No, because it was just on string, so, like, I guess it would just be, like, sat on the chair, like, the string wasn't, like, going across the room, or, and it wasn't taut, the lighter's not heavy enough to make the string taut enough to trip you over. You'd just, like, be like, oh, what was that, kind of thing, like, yeah. What did I just move, and a lighter might come flying up or something. Could be a fire.
I have seen, I think it was in the show Russian Doll, I think she has the lighter on like a retractable thing, so
that
nobody
rings a
steals
bell.
it.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like a good strategy. Have you ever used your phone as the TV remote, where it just felt like the world was combining?
Yeah, I've done that. I've downloaded an app and I've used it as a remote for my TV.
It felt like I was going
laptop.
against God. It felt like it was sacrilegious. I was like, this is against the order of things. It's just and funnily enough, I did do that, and that was one of the times that I lost the remote for an extended period of time. And I was like, well, I've got the phone. I'll just use my bloody phone. but you still have to turn the TV on via the button because I think it uses Wi-Fi. It's actually slower than using the infrared.
Yeah, you can't really beat the classic remote still, can you?
No.
They're still the best.
I really like, one of my favourite things, and I don't know about you, this is a thing I like to do sometimes. I like the old TVs, like some of the old CRTs, where they had really flat remotes, like fat, flat remotes. Because what I liked about them, A, you couldn't lose them because they were big. They were like the size of, I don't know, 2 Kit Kats on top of each other. Maybe 4, maybe like as a 3D thing, but like you could just lean it on the sofa, it'd sit on the arm of the sofa, and then you don't even need to pick it up. Maybe that is peak like laziness. You just have to press. And I suppose the advantage of something like the Roku remote is because it's not infrared, you don't need to point it at things. You can kind of just, like, I don't know, keep it in your pocket like you're secretly texting someone. Because that's another thing you can't do anymore without buttons. I don't know about you, I always imagine, like, you know, the scenario, I don't know, someone's like, I'm here to rob the place, and you're like, oh no. But then, back in the day, we're all done now. You could go, GG, hey, eat, 44533, eat.
Yeah.
Like, and you could secretly do a text in your pocket. Can't do that on my phone now. It's just, I just put my hand in my pocket and it's just a flat bit of glass. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm touching. To the point where, like, I've been accidentally recently, I don't know how this has been happening. It's happened at least 3 times in the past 2 weeks. I've accidentally sent voice notes of me talking to the cashier. And it was because I was messaging someone on WhatsApp, and I went to go pay using, like, my phone, and I must have accidentally pressed the voice button.
Oh,
and it's just numerous times accident. Like, so people like my wife and my sister have received voice notes going, okay, thank you, yeah, okay, and then it's like me, and then I'll just send it because I think it's funny.
Well, yeah, you might as well. I would too. Yeah.
Well, ironically, I've had so many deep questions that I've written down. We've ran out of time to go into the history. So I guess I'm not going to do a part 3 because I feel like part 2 was already a bit excessive.
Probably, yeah. We probably shouldn't do a part 3.
No, we're not. Maybe one day. Maybe if the audience requests it, maybe one day we'll do it live. But for now, I guess, in summary, keep an eye on your remotes. Don't lose them.
Maybe make a stand for them.
Maybe make a stand for them. Maybe stick some Velcro on it, or maybe make a Megatron. I'm going to put a picture up of the Megatron. It'll be out there. It's a glorious thing. But just stick them all up, you know. And just remember, a bit like in life, it's about... I'm going to think of a really good outro. Think about how in life, it's about how we all interact with things. Okay, and how we interact with people, and sometimes people can be a bit difficult. Maybe they're having a bad day, maybe someone's in your way and you're trying to get off the bus and they've got headphones on and they're noise cancelling headphones, the noise cancelling's really good, and you're like, get out of the way, and you can't, but you don't want to touch them because touching them is like, that's weird. You don't want to touch a stranger, who knows what's on them, so you got to kind of like make eye contact to kind of move round. Yes, this happened to me today. And like, you're trying to get, and you go round and it's like, man, if they could just hear me and I could just go, excuse me, and then you walk past. That is how sometimes it feels like if we didn't have TV remotes. Is being able to talk to this magical device that can give us entertainment, the world, and everything. Sometimes it's just about finding the right way and the most efficient way to communicate your needs. Using, as we have now coined it, the selector.
The selector. Because let's face it, a TV without a selector is quite obnoxious, really.
Yeah, it is. It is. When you use your phone, it does feel like... Yeah, you do feel a bit like you're gaining, like, bum hole points. Not points on your bum hole, just you are being a bum hole. I was trying to find a non...
Yeah, I felt a bit like that, but also felt like I was kind of cheating the system.
Yeah, it did.
Like, there was a bit of me that's like, this feels bad, but also I feel great because it's like, remote. You thought losing yourself, because you lost yourself, it wasn't me, would cause me to not be able to select what I need to select, but I can still.
Exactly. It's like, oh, I failed as an adult. I've lost the remote. If I lose the remote, does that mean I'd lose my child if I ever had one? Or my money? I'd just lose my money accidentally. It's like, no, if I can't even look after the remote in the same way that, like, they say like a dog or a pet is like a, before you get a child, it's like the test run. The remote feels like the ultimate test run. If you can't even lose the thing that you use all the time and that you need to interface with a device you use all the time, if you lose that, then what are you?
Yeah. Have a good look at yourself, people.
Good look. It's okay. And I'm just saying, it's okay.
It is okay.
If you lose your remotes, that doesn't mean you're a terrible person.
No, you can still have children, because I've lost remotes and I had a child. And to be honest, the child loses the remote for me now, so I don't have to
Yeah,
do
that's
it.
true. They have little schemes there. So it was the perfect practice because it gets you used to the mindset of someone that doesn't know where their remote is.
Totally, yeah.
And with that, I just have to say to you guys at home, I love you very much.
I love you all too.
And to Dave, I say and to Dave like this is, and to you, Dave, I love you.
I love you too, Chris.
And let's say bye, 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 bye,
Bye,
everybody.
bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you.
It's the Mundane Podcast.